Good morning, YouTube. The people of Jalopnik are speaking some more about cars they want to bring back, discontinued vehicles.
Yes, resurrect.
And there are some dim bulbs and smooth-brained people over there. Well, not really. They're just like me. They're car enthusiasts that want to bring certain cars back. I know.
They're going to like block you, and then you're not going to be able to read any of the articles anymore.
Yeah, before we get into it, though, we should probably do a kitten update. Here, grab a couple of kittens, April.
So
yeah, I got these two.
They're little babies.
They're walking and running and meowing and climbing. Yep.
Look at this little baby.
So 1 month old or getting close to 1 month old. I guess it was July 3rd. So by the time this video comes out, it might be 1 month.
Oh.
Yes.
They're so cute. Oh, they're climbing on you.
Yeah, they got to get off.
Your little jungle gym.
One at a time. One at a time. Uh-oh.
The attack of the kittens.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Are you
I'm going to put you down. And you, okay, got you.
This is
and
a
you.
disaster. Don't let Tyler babysit your kittens.
So, yes, I think two are... I don't want to hurt your claw there. You got to unclaw, buddy.
They're so cute.
Here we go. Okay. I know. Are you scared? Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Back in there with mommy. So, yeah, there are 6 kittens. They are growing. They are happy, healthy little kittens. And I think we have 3 that are spoken for as far as ones people want.
Yeah, 3, maybe 4.
We might keep 1, and yeah, 2 more needs to go. So...
This one likes it out here. This is like the show kitten.
Okay. Well, let me find one that is not as terrified.
Oh, wait. She's meowing.
Okay.
All right.
This is the super duper friendly one. Yeah. This orange one.
Sure?
I think so.
There's 2 orange ones. One's super friendly. One's super scared.
One's terrified of everything. So, yeah, I'll figure it out.
One.
You might be right. Yep. Okay, back to mama. So, anyway, Jalopnik's list.
Yes.
Voice crack there. What was that? Puberty. Okay.
Finally.
You ready?
Just kidding. I don't know what.
I know you were hoping for some growth, but I don't think it's going to happen at 38 years old. Starting with the Honda Fit. Bring back the Honda Fit.
That sounds like some fitness bracelet that you wear to see your heart rate or something.
Well, I didn't even know the Fit was gone, to be honest with you, but I guess it has been for a few years.
Terrible car. The shape of it, just everything about it. It was weak.
Decent little Econo box that was okay to drive. They had it configured to where you could camp in it really easily, where the seats folded flat to be like a full bed, basically.
That's what Subaru does. Let Subaru take care of camping.
I'm going to have to throw these cats out, and then we can keep going.
What do you mean throw them out?
They need to, they're meowing, and people are going to be annoyed. There's like a 50% like cats, 50% don't like cat audience here.
Cute, though.
Yeah, the Honda Fit, a decent little car.
Jake said they look like a shuttlecraft, and what do shuttlecrafts always do?
Well, they crash in Star Trek. See? But you'd rather have a Nissan Cube. That's one we should bring back.
The Borg Cube, yes.
That's not on this list.
That would be really cool.
Dodge Magnum.
Yes! Bring back the Magnum.
Yeah. I had a Magnum SRT8 with the ME.
I never even thought of the correlation with the prophylactic.
Oh.
Is that the right word,
well,
Magnum?
It was a great name for a
Magnum.
car. I mean, 357 Magnum, or yes, it named after a weapon, a pew-pew. But yeah, the Magnum
No, I wasn't thinking weapon.
I know what you were thinking.
Well, I guess it could be a weapon, actually.
The Magnum.
Which would be so cool if they brought it back.
Yes, but it'd have to be under the platform of the new Dodge Charger, which is electric.
No.
So that's what it'd have to be, which, I mean... If it's an easily modifiable platform, the EVs like, say, that Cadillac Lyriq out there, which is an Acura, which is a Blazer. It's so many things. It'd be very easy to put different little bodies on it. It's fine.
You think so? Yeah. I don't know. I think they just really just get crazy with it. Maybe lower it a little bit, make it really stealthy, and just put some sick, if you're gonna go EV, do half EV, do some sick hybrid engine in it. But fully EV.
That's the thing. The Magnum would come back to engine options that would not live up to the original. It'd either have to be a hybrid electric, like you said, or a twin-turbo inline-6, which people don't want that. So best leave it in the past. So Chevy SS, which was a failure from the start, but it got a 6.2-liter V8 offered with a 6-speed manual. Nobody bought it. Right. And it's become collectible. Of course it did, because people weren't going to buy them new. Everybody says, I want this car. I want a manual V8 four-door sports car. Here we go. Oh, I can't afford it. But then it becomes used and they buy it. And then those same people complain about them not being made anymore, but they never buy them when they're new.
Did you just say they became collectible?
Yeah, then they became like, oh,
really?
Yeah, it's so cool. But at $30,000, a used car.
I mean, could that be because they didn't make a ton of them? And so they're, there you go.
So Yes, smooth brain thing to want to bring back. It wouldn't do well. You just bankrupt the company. The Mazda 5 is an interesting one, though.
Why would they put this on the list?
Because it's sort of like the sporty minivan.
Is that a
It
thing?
was a
I feel like
small-
those two words don't go together. Sporty and minivan.
So you have the front of like a Mazda 3, you have like
Right.
the zoom zoom era of Mazda
Yeah.
turbo stuff,
Right.
but then the back is sliding door minivan. It's cool.
Yeah, that's like a mullet, but like a really boring, terrible mullet that you don't want to see anymore.
I suppose that's nobody wanted it, nobody bought it. It's cool now, but yeah, I don't think it's something that would be desirable to be brought back. The front engine Corvette, so we're like, go back to put him in the front. Interesting. What would somebody say about that? Sure, according to performance numbers, the C8 is superior than previous models, but it looks more like a teenage boy's fantasy car drawn during study hall. Porsche has room in their lineup for multiple sports cars, so there's room for an old school Vette priced around 50 grand a front engine, which I suppose, but then they'd have to make a completely different factory away from Kentucky, which I
Right.
don't think they want to do
Right.
as far as the very small production line there.
Right.
If they do bring back a Corvette, they're talking about a Corvette SUV that's electric. It's going to be bad. It's going to be, the Corvette name will be expanded, and it will be in a way that you don't want it to be, sort of like Lamborghini Urus or
Yeah,
whatever.
Lamborghini tried it, failed it. So
Yeah.
is Corvette not taking a page from their book?
It's not the worst idea, but there's no way it could be brought back as like a cheap car.
I don't think they can do it. They took the risk of going with the mid-engine, and then they've wanted to do mid-engine for a while. There were some concept cars back in the day with mid-engine. Now they did it, and it'd be like, hey, we failed, and we're going to go back to the old school. And they're kind of like the tail between their legs if they did go back to this.
I don't know about that, but cannibalizing themselves for sales. And I think that Corvette and Chevrolet, GM, position themselves perfectly to where, yeah, you want one, it's a bit of a wait. You want a regular Corvette, it's going to be 3, 6, 9 months. You want a Z06, you might have to wait a year for it. If you want a ZR1, get your name in line. Maybe you'll get one, maybe ever. I mean, I think it's perfect where their production goes full-time, all the time, non-stop. They can expand it small. But then they don't get to the point where there's 50 for sale in every single Chevy car lot in the country, and they're just stacked up everywhere, and they can't move them like Stellantis with pretty much every product they sell.
Right. That is when there's a lot of something you think, oh, they're not as desirable, and it says something to the price.
Yeah.
Do you think that they made a mistake perhaps with going mid-engine?
No. It was brilliant. Yes, they built a Ferrari supercar beater for, well, not beaters, they're not the right word, a conqueror for, supposed to be $60,000, but with options. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's the best thing they've ever done. Wagons in general should make a comeback. So 5 Series wagon, C-Class wagon, Jetta wagon, all of them. Well, here's the deal. Nobody bought them.
Right.
And that's why they're all gone. Everybody switched to crossovers and SUVs. The wagons are dead.
Well, I mean, the Magnum, which we like, is kind of I feel like it's like the squished version of a wagon. So it's smoother and sleeker, and it looks a little bit different than a traditional.
Squished Magnum.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, A4, A6 wagon, they're talking about all the dead wagons.
Right.
Sorry, bringing back a wagon is a really, really bad idea for an automaker. They, of course, Porsche did it with the Taycan Gran Turismo. Didn't sell that well. I think they canceled it pretty quickly. So, same with the Panamera one. It didn't do all that well. Even from a brand where enthusiasts would probably freak out about something like that. Still too expensive and just not enough people that want that.
Can I make a little prediction for the future with completely self-driving cars that would have this wagon style and just a wraparound couch as seating? So these wagon cars would be then just chauffeuring us. And then when we get way too old and our driver's license yanked away, these self-driving cars would be in the shape of a wagon because you can accommodate this huge, cool wraparound couch. I'm just dreaming
And
of the
then
future.
the IIHS crash test would show people getting, split in half or whatever as they're on their sofa. It wouldn't. No, that's like McLaren not being able to sell their Speedtail in the U.S. without, show on display because of the center seat.
Yeah.
And then the 2 side seats, you couldn't do airbags for everybody. So someone sitting sideways, how would you do? How would you do an airbag?
Sorry, I didn't know the safety police was joining us today.
Sorry, Chevy Cruze. Interesting. Why would somebody say the Opel-based, first generation, Daewoo-based, second generation crap box? I say they're a hoot to drive. It cornered like it was on rails. Out of your mind. Who is this idiot? No. Chevy and Ford, they lost to Toyota and Honda when it came to Japanese reliability for small cars. Everybody goes and they buy a Civic or a Corolla. If they go cheap, they go and buy a Hyundai.
Right.
They do not go and buy a Cruze.
No.
And Ford ruined their reputation with their dual clutches and the Ford Focuses and everything. Like, nobody will touch that ever again.
Right.
Nissan, the CVT is the same story. They only sell to credit-challenged people. So, yeah, the Cruze is dead and yeah, needs to stay dead. That's a crazy one. The Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's bring it. That's
one of
like
April's...
a newer one, though. I want the older, kind of swoopy,
the
sexy
Fast and
body
Furious
style,
okay.
right? That's what I'm talking about. When you first get your driver's license, it's a cool car. You want something fun, and it's actually affordable. It was very affordable when it first came out.
Right. Yeah, the Mustang is a little bit expensive now, but I suppose that's the closest that we have to something that is like the Eclipse that a young person could buy and it not be overpowered if it's like the little 4-cylinder one or whatever. And yeah, have fun. Something that looks cool, that's fun to drive, that's you know, something for the youths. Yeah, I could see the Eclipse being a good one for Mitsubishi to bring back.
You're just against me today with all my picks.
Oh, I'm
Come
sorry.
on. Well, we agree on the Magnum.
Next
that should come back.
is the Alfa Romeo GTV or Spider.
I think it looks cool.
The Spider did come back. And it was the 4C or whatever. It was really cool. It did come back, and it was sold for a while, and then it quit selling, so they quit making it.
Right.
So I'm curious what. Okay, they want to do a specific platform though, where it's they're showing a picture of the really old hatchback one, which is a different version. I guess it is the GTV, but something a little more practical, I suppose, than say like being a Boxster competitor.
I like this. This looks really cool, and just that flat back end kind of reminds me of the GT40 back in the day, where it's just like very sleek and cut off in the back. And it doesn't look like anything else on the road.
It is a car that nobody would buy. Nobody would buy, but
I would buy it.
I agree with this one wholeheartedly. So people would line up to buy a new Honda Element for sure.
More than the Cube?
More than the Cube, 1000%, because the Cube, as neat as it is, has the CVT transmission that went kaboom. It doesn't have a very good reputation here. The Honda Element was the perfect car for people who do not give a crap about their cars. Because they had the vinyl flooring and the seats fold up sideways, sort of like an old Land Cruiser or Defender. And you could haul your dog, get it just completely disgusting, and then pretty much hose out the inside.
That's cool.
You could camp out of it too because of that configuration. They had the non-painted panels once you can scratch it up. Like, if you didn't care, but you want to do a little bit of outdoorsy stuff, or you just have big burly dogs, but you don't want a big vehicle, it's perfect.
Right. No, I dig it. It's a perfect body style. You're right for that and all that. To clean it up easily, and it would last a long time.
Yep, they're good for 300,000 miles, and people are still daily driving them because there's nothing really to replace them. Honda, bring back the Element, for sure. Next one, the Chevy S10 EV, which...
How does an EV just already go out like that?
20, 30 years ago, they sold a few of these and didn't do all that well. The range was abysmal. But yes, bringing back a small, itty-bitty truck that's an electric hybrid to compete with the Maverick, even one that's smaller, would be really smart, I think.
Well, I think there's a lot of room for all the batteries to get your range, because you have that huge truck bed and you can really kind of hide a lot.
You could do a shallower, you could do that.
I don't know. Maybe I should be a car designer. No,
there you go. The Kia Stinger is on here. And the Kia Stinger just went out of production. So what are they saying? To bring it back as a manual transmission. Well, no. People didn't buy this, so they discontinued it. Less people would want the manual transmission. No, smooth-brained jalop there. Lexus GS.
So bad.
Which the GS is different because it was rear-wheel drive based. So it's the smaller, it was a midsize than the LS. Sportier, rear-wheel drive based, because the current ones are front-wheel drive, sort of like Camry based. One's what remain as far as the midsize. You had at one point the ES and the GS, which were sort of in the same space, but for very different customers. I mean, you have the LC 500, which is a beautiful coupe that has a back seat, and that is a convertible as well. Isn't that good enough? If you have to have a rear-wheel drive V8 Lexus that's sporty, you can give up 2 doors.
Right. Well, I feel like there's a lot of options with Lexus, and I don't know if they need to add another to their lineup.
Because Lexus still basically makes this car just with 2 less doors. So go buy that one, right? Next is large American sedans. But the end remark from the writer says that all the people who wanted to buy these died 9 years ago, which is, why 9 years? I'm not sure, but that is kind of true. They have a Buick LaCrosse there as a photo.
Right. Well, if you want a big car, you're getting an SUV or just like a crossover type vehicle, and you don't really need all this space. But I still think they look really cool and they're fun, and you don't see a ton of them, so they catch my eye and they're fun.
Yeah, I don't know. As big of a fan as I am of these, a front-wheel drive based big sedans like the DTS and the LaCrosse and all that stuff, it's a platform that just it just needs to go. If you're gonna bring one back, it needs to be rear-wheel drive. But I'll talk about that in my own list of cars to bring back.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Okay. K5 Blazer's on here, which I think you've said that before.
Those are beautiful.
The Blazer is still around as a little crossover EV.
I mean, they brought Bronco back and kind of revamped it, and that was a huge deal. So obviously they need to bring back the K5 Blazer. That needs to happen. Okay.
Well, they did have the S10 Blazer, the little Blazer back in the day, so they could bring back the K5 and have a biggin based on a truck platform.
Well, I think that'd be fun. I think it's a great idea. Boxy's like so in right now. I don't know why I sound like so in right now.
The thing is,
it's true, and they could really pitch off that.
They could do it with the Tahoe. It's just 2 extra doors. A Z71, so it's off-roady, the package, and do a Heritage Edition where they do this two-tone, where they reconfigure the nose a little bit to make it more boxy, but it would appeal to a lot more people because it would be 4 doors. And if they built that, it would sell out instantly. A heritage look of a Tahoe, instant, charge $100,000 and it would be people lining up to buy it. So they don't necessarily need to bring back the 2-door K5.
Well, I mean, like even at Barrett Jackson, when we see those all resto modded out, they go for over $100,000 every single time, and people are just flocking around them, constantly taking pictures of them. Like those are hot right now.
Absolutely. The Nissan Pulsar, or the idea of the Nissan Pulsar, a 2-door coupe with a usable cargo hatch during the week and a notchback or fastback for the weekend. So like when they had the reconfigurable rears to where you could put one on for more cargo, the rear hatch, and one to make it look sporty.
No.
Nobody would buy that. I'm sorry. It is cool to find one, especially I think the hatchback version where they put on for like the wagon style sells for a lot of money when you can find one and bolt it onto your Pulsar versus the normal sort of fastback look. But no, I don't think so. The next one says all of them apparently, but Honda S2000 is the photo, but they mean the OG Ranger, Fiero, Buick Riviera, Old Sonata, but basically the big picture is the S2000, which I could see that.
Right.
That was 2000 to 2007, 8, something like that, 2006, I don't know. But great, amazing sports car that's sort of mythical status at this point, appreciated a lot. But if you did bring it back as an electric, would people buy it? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, it depends where your price range is, I feel like. But they are fun, and the values are going up on the older ones.
Yeah, the Miata still exists, and the Z4 still exists, so this it's a very, very narrow market, and I don't think there's many buyers for this, so it'd be a really bad one to bring back, in my opinion. Same with the Pontiac Solstice and Saturn Sky, which is on here, like, no, that is just one best to be left dead, unfortunately, the Mitsubishi Mighty Max, I think...
So cool.
This is the last one on the list, and I think that might be the smartest one
That
ever.
would be really, really cool.
If Mitsubishi wants to turn things around, they bring in a sub-$20,000 small pickup truck with a 4-cylinder turbo. It could be gutless, it could be a hybrid, just cheap. And fleets would buy it like crazy.
That's true.
People would buy it like crazy to mod it, just offer a bare bones truck that meets modern safety standards and make it, boxy, retro throwback. Brilliant.
I love it.
They'd sell 1 billion of them.
That's my first to well. The Magnum and this are my top 2.
Anything off the list?
I mean, well, of course. My girl,
Buick Grand National.
Right here.
How would they bring back the Buick Grand National, though? On what platform?
Don't tell me electric.
I know, it'd have to be electric, but what platform would it be?
Don't get crazy.
They wouldn't bring out... We're just going to do a whole new body-on-frame coupe just so April Rose can buy a new Buick Grand National. It would cost a zillion dollars.
I like where you're thinking. I like where this is going.
No,
this is fantastic.
It's impossible to bring this back in a way that would do justice.
Sick with that see. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. If you have to make it all electric, but it would be so worth it. This is sweet. This needs to come back.
Because they could do the Celestiq.
Yeah.
Is the wagon. They have the concept that's the convertible. But they could do, for every single brand, do a halo car where they do bespoke builds.
Ooh.
So they say with Buick on the GM platform, they bring back the Grand National.
Right.
And make it an electric car that can do 0 to 60 in 2 seconds and 250 miles an hour, something like that. That makes sense.
Fantastic.
And yeah, the Eldorado and the convertible.
That's okay. Now you're talking Eldorado. That's the one that I feel like they should bring back, but like the big crazy sick land yacht version of it. Like that's what I want to see back. That'd be fun. But then I'm like, no one's really going to buy because they're not practical in the least bit. But that would be fantastic.
Right. Well, while we're bringing down model cars, get that orange Superbird down here.
You really would go here?
Here's the thing. In the same vein as the Cadillac Celestiq being a platform to bring back halo cars, the Charger is coming back as an EV,
right? As
a muscle car. But you really want to make headlines, you bring back the Superbird in a very limited, very expensive sort of, we're going to build like 500 or 1,000 of these. We're going to make it super aerodynamic to where it has a top speed of X, 300 miles an hour, something like that. Faster than a Bugatti, faster than whatever. They're capable of doing it just with some extreme crazy aero and make it as expensive as they want. It could be $1 million on a Charger platform where it's just this ridiculous looking thing and one pursuit is just top speed.
That is, how come you just totally beat my idea? Even though I'm talking about my GN girl here, like that would be incredible to bring just a small production numbers of a Superbird back. That would be so cool.
It's sort of the same as Lamborghini, where they brought back the Countach, which was on you know, the hybrid platform, the you know, basically an Aventador-based body where they do like it's the Countach, it's back, and they sell out and sell them for a lot of money. There's other automakers that have done the same thing, but Mopar could do it. And they could do it really, really well. So cool. It would be the new poster car for everybody. They could get the rednecks to really embrace EVs somewhat by doing this. You know, it's like, holy crap, they went 300 miles per hour in something that I can go buy in the showroom, or I can buy the Charger version of it. Like,
you're going to get canceled by the rednecks for saying that. It's over.
My neck's pretty red. I mean, look at that tan line.
That would be so cool.
Anywho.
Just to kind of modify the wing a little bit, you know, not so
right. The wing in the original Winged Warrior didn't do, it was useless, but yeah,
useless?
They could make it
fantastic.
Functional. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'm available to consult. Stellantis.
That would be really cool.